Hey guys, we're here today with backyard. We still working on it. The barbecue talk, porch talk, garage talk, sister to sister. We don't know. It's something. We don't know if she's Shelly Jordan or Mitch, somebody. But the question that or the issue that I have for today is, how do I feel empathy for somebody that I don't sympathize with? Now we all know. For those of you who, let me break it down because the difference is, if I sympathize with you, I feel sorry for you. If I empathize, I understand what you're going through. How can I empathize for someone I don't feel sorry for? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me say, for instance, let me give you. You get what I'm saying? So how can I empathize with them? Like, just say, for instance, I had a friend that come to me, and me and her had an argument. Well, it wasn't an argument. It was just an adult disagreement. And this is what it was about. She was telling me about her situation and how horrible it was that her husband simply could not understand why, she was so against her niece, his niece moving in, whose mom was going through things. She can't empathize with her. She sympathized with the woman, the little girl, but she can't empathize with the situation enough to take on that role. And my thing, for me, I felt like, and maybe it's because of my upbringing, and I see Granny, they're taking anybody, whoever needed something, they could stay with Granny. But she felt like I didn't sympathize with her situation. And I'm telling her, even though you sympathize with the little girl, you don't empathize enough to allow her to have a better life. And her reasoning is, why should she sacrifice being able to do more for her son? Because if she take on the niece, that means she has to stop, and her son won't be able to get all the things that he's used to getting. And I can understand her point. Like, it's not fair to her to have to take on her husband's niece, which is her niece. That's how I told her, it's your niece too. Take on, your husband's niece to actually come and be.
The first thing is, all I'm hearing is her. You can't empathize if you're going to put you first in the situation. You have to consider the person, the other person. It can't be, how can I empathize when everything is about me?
But she's making it, what she's saying, because what you said is basically what I said. You keep talking about how you feel. But she's saying that her son will suffer. And her husband only sees that this is my sister, and she feel like he always doing stuff for his sister. She always messing up. He always cleaning up her mess. Now we got to take on a huge responsibility.
That's just a thought. How do you know your son is going to suffer? That's just something you don't build up in your... I mean, we never know. What is the right thing to do at the end of the day? No matter what sacrifices I got to make, what is the right thing to do? When I empathize with you, what is the right... How am I approaching this situation? What is right for this situation? I feel sympathy for you, but I want to empathize with you. So, but what's right? That's the only thing she can do. What's right? And at this moment, she's just making up excuses not to do what's right. Because just like your son is a child, that is a child. And it's family. Whether it's son, niece, brother, sister.
Right.
That's family. And I can't outlove you because you my sister and that's my cousin. But I don't love them the same because you my sister, so we close. No. It's family. We're supposed to love all our family the same.
But would you say that you're speaking from the aspect of you've seen how Granny taking in people? So her thing is she's an only child, but I guess I'm still trying to make excuses for her as well, because she doesn't understand the family dynamics, and it's important. Her thing is, why should my son have to? Her stance was, why should my son have to be without certain things because we got to take on somebody else's responsibility that's not ours, and she as an adult didn't make the right decisions. Right. So how do I get her to understand that I sympathize with the way she feels, but she's not the empathy that she wants me, I can't give.
How do you get her to understand that?
Yes.
Good question, Olivia. I don't know how you would get her to understand that you can't empathize, because in her mind, her decision is correct. And until you say her decision is correct, y'all ain't gonna come to no common ground.
Right.
So you got your opinion and she got hers, and it's really no way because she feels the way she feels and you feel the way you feel.
Right.
And I can't convince you that I understand.
But if
when
you
I don't.
But if I were to say to her, okay, you know what? You think that I don't get it. Let me just let you speak to my sister. And she came to you. What would you say if I was her and I've given you the backstory from what she's giving me? Her husband thing is my niece, if I can provide a better situation for her, regardless to what, why shouldn't I do that? That's her husband's whole thing. That's family, period. You know, what would you say to her? Like, I know you wouldn't try to convince her, but what would you say to her?
To try to.
Not to try to convince her, just what would you say about the situation, about the niece? I've given you her backstory, how she feels about it. Her husband feel that's family. We gonna help. We in a better situation where we can. We gonna do it. She feel
How
like
old is her son?
the son's 13.
Has she ever asked him?
She didn't. No, I don't think that they've even mentioned it to the son. So I'm saying, if she was to walk up here and I was to say, what would you say to her? Like, it's not even advice. Just what would you say?
Try. I mean, because there's ways around everything, and try to come to a common ground where you're comfortable and it benefits over there. That just don't make your situation beneficial, and the little girl is getting nothing.
Right.
Meet in the middle,
Right.
where it's comfortable for you, and it also helps this little girl. That's all you can do, because you have your opinion and your feelings. So how can y'all come together to a mutual ground and it's beneficial to everyone and not just you?
Got it.